What do you think about it? Hey, y'all. Me and Sissy and Hank out here on a Saturday night. How are you? If y'all got a few minutes, we'll visit a little bit. If you chime on, just even after the fact, chime off in the comments maybe where you're listening from, maybe a howdy, and if we don't get to it live, we'll get to it after the fact. But finally got a little break in the rain around here. I think we're 50 inches year to date on this whole place, and that's normally what we get all year. But we got it in a couple of months. I guess 6 months to be exact. Okay, I told them wrong, Sissy. I'm sorry. All right. Oh, she told me it's time to look at these beans. How about that? Those pinto beans. What is it? She is excited to be outside. She's been in the house all day. Pretty sure we're still on track to have some puppies soon. But things are doing good on the place. I got a lot of weeds, but this is a case where the weeds helped. Last time I did a big garden out here, I didn't have a stitch of weeds, and every rain that came, I didn't have a stitch of dirt either. So we let them grow symbiotically, and it didn't hurt a thing. And as you can see, just on one little plant, show them, Sissy, there's plenty of those beans. So we got some bean picking to do and some taters to dig, and I staggered my crops this year, not by design, but it'll be by design next time. Ain't no sense planting the whole pea field at one time, is it? And especially when it's just one of you. Have to come out here and pick an acre of produce. That don't make no sense to me. So I'll be doing that going forward. Plant a row this week and wait a couple of weeks, plant the other one, right? Spread your work out a little bit. Well, they say work smarter, not harder. Been a good week. I had a little old foot injury. Nothing really to speak of. I've had worse, but it's right in a spot where it's hard to walk on, but I'm starting to get a little better about it. Was blessed to have a beautiful weekend last week. Them goats, we'll go feed them so they'll hush. They sound like they're dying, but got a chance to go to Georgia and gather with my paternal side of the family, and that meant seeing all my kids and my grandbabies. And y'all, you can't touch that. I mean, it was just a short trip, but we didn't really do any activities to speak of other than just be together. But man, that's priceless. So I'm recharged after seeing those babies. They're all scattered from Illinois to Alabama to South Carolina. So those visits are cherished for sure. But I was sitting down a path, and different comments that happened over the weekend. I got to go in here and feed these goats, so they're not going to leave us alone, y'all. So bear with me. If we lose signal, we'll come back to what we're talking about. But this trip has been planned. It was put together by my aunt, and she did a fantastic job of getting everything planned and coordinated. All right, here we go. Hang on. Oh, man, just dying. I know, just dying. Horrible. Horrible. Y'all ever heard anything like that? They've been out here eating all day. As soon as they hear me, they act like they're dying. Well, that's all right. Come on. All right. Oh, man. I knew better than to go live before feeding these jokers. Got chickens and goats and turtles and frogs and all that. Y'all want to see them? Hang on. Let me turn it around. Now, they caught the husk mouth. All that grass out there, they got plenty to eat. They got the spoil on them pellets. That'll keep them quiet for a minute. Maybe. We'll see. I imagine they'll be hollering at me again here directly. But back to the weekend. And maybe y'all have experienced this before. And sometimes things like this bring out different points to me. I don't know how I am. I'm always looking for lessons. And I've had plenty of them talk to me hard that I didn't want it. But as we neared the weekend, everything had been planned down to the minute detail. And my aunt arrived first there where we were supposed to meet. And everybody made their plans. There were plane tickets involved. I drove and was blessed with a safe trip. But long story short, she showed up at our venue. Beautiful. And somebody was there. Already there. So it puzzled her, so she got checking into it. Well, they double booked it. Wasn't nothing to do with her or two different companies, and they double booked the place. So here she is in the 11th hour with no place for over 20 folks to gather, and we're already on the way, right? Or thinking about getting on the way. And so she sent out the red alert, and a few folks kind of got sideways and panicked and all this. But we moved through it. She was able to find another nice place, just as spacious and accommodating, and we had a good weekend. A couple folks pulled out along the way, different reasons, not just that. But along that same line, I was watching that documentary on Netflix about Moses. It's one of those where I already knew how the story ended, but it's kind of cool just to see the details and how they play it out. And they got it right, as far as I know. But it's kind of like, watching those movies, you know how they end. I heard this one, it made me chuckle. A young blonde walked into a restaurant, sports bar looking thing. They was watching the news. It's 10 o'clock. And there was a jumper on the roof. And they were covering it there on the 10 o'clock news. And the old boy sitting there beside her said, "Hey, I bet you $10 that he jumps." And she said, "Well, I hate to make any money on his demise, but I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say he didn't." Well, tragically, the man jumped, and it's horrible. But the point of it was, the guy said, "Well, I'm not gonna take your money because I already saw it on 5 o'clock news." She said, "Well, I did too, but I didn't think you'd do it twice." I know, but the point is, you've already seen the movie, you read the book, you know how it's going to end. But something struck me. When Moses finally got out of that crazy Egypt slavery bondage, they were walking in faith through the desert, didn't really know where they was going, they were just following the Lord. And they got in that desert, and they come up on the Red Sea. Well, as we all know the story, those of you that do, Pharaoh was coming after him, changed his mind. His whole army, which was probably the fiercest army in that region, in that part of the world at that time, was right on their heels. Well, it looked hopeless, right? Here they are full of confidence, and now there's the Red Sea. But God made a way, and we know they got across it, and Pharaoh perished. The point of the story is, I wonder if they'd have left Egypt, if they'd known all the trials they was going to have to go through to get to that promised land, right? So that hit me with this whole trip. If we hadn't have known that there was a problem with the booking, and at the last minute we're just like, "Hey, we're going to go over here and stay at this place," wouldn't have been a big deal, would it? Wouldn't have known anything different. I think that's how life is. And maybe that's why we don't see the backside of the embroidery or the other side sometimes. We don't know all the dangers that we're protected of. But we do know when something bad happens to somebody good, we blow it out of proportion, but we don't know the whole story. So I thought about that. I decided Thursday night, when it was still a little bit iffy about where we was going, I'm like, you know what? I don't live like that. And I think some people might call it foolish or faith. I think it's just faith. I don't know no better. He's always provided. Every time I put my foot out, it's something to stand on. And I had decided I was going to get in that truck, just like I'd planned, and head east. And the Lord would provide a ram in the bush, and he did, like he always does. You've got that faith too, believe it or not. How many times you go out to your truck, your car, go to work, just a random Tuesday, you get in, crank it, going down the road. Never think about all the mechanics and the things that have to happen to make that car start. You don't even think about it. You know it's going to start, right? Some of us have old beaters. I've had them. And you kind of get in that stage where they're not doing too good. But normally, you just crank it and go. That's the kind of faith I want. It's expectant faith. You don't think about it. It's not wishes or dreams or goodies that you want. It's just faith. You just walk that way. You don't see it any different. Maybe it's simple, but that's how I see it. I wrapped myself on the head the other evening, and actually made me upset at myself. I'm gonna tell on myself. So I went to Walmart after going to see the doctor to get my little prescription. Antibiotics is all it gave me, and it was raining. I mean pouring. What was this, Wednesday? And of course I ran into the store there, and as I'm going in, you know how they have the plants out front on the carts, different vegetables or flowers or whatever. Well, there was a sparsely stocked rack of beautiful Gerber daisies, and I love those things. But I'm telling you, these things hadn't seen water in a year, I don't think. They were all drooped over and, dying and dry. And y'all, they were outside. And we've had 50 inches of rain, right? They were 6 inches from the eve. That close to relief and life, but they wasn't getting it. I ran on past them and thought about it while I was in the store. Me being who I am, I should have just kind of scooted that rack out just a couple inches, 6 inches or so, and let them get a little drink, right? But I didn't, and it bothered me. Went back the next day, and they were stone cold dead. 6 inches from relief. I wonder if that's how we go through our day. I see it a lot. We run into folks. We don't know what they're going through. We can't help them a whole lot. But maybe a smile might pull them those 3 or 4 inches closer to a better day. To give them a little drink of water, if you will, and keep them going. So what really saddened me is thinking of the hundreds of people that walk past those daisies just like me. I'm sure some of them saw them, but not my job. Okay, well, I failed at it, so I failed that test. So I'm going to have to do a little more studying, I suppose. Yeah, it's just little old flowers, but I hate waste. I do. But I look for the lessons in things. Now, I was talking to a good mentor of mine. You know, friends are a good thing. Y'all have some friends that if they called you at 3 o'clock in the morning and they needed you to come bail them out of something, I'm not talking about just acquaintances. I'm talking about sure enough lifelong friends that you wouldn't ask a question. You just tell them, drop me a pin and tell me where to come. I'll be right there. Y'all got any friends like that? Got a couple. And then you have friends that would do it for you. I think we make a relationship with Jesus Christ too hard. Looks like just scattered rules. But he would, and something else too. Friends that you can call and vent. Y'all ever do that? I mean, just something silly happens in your day. Just get you all riled up and got a good mad going. And you know you shouldn't be, but you call your buddy and maybe it's a little gossiping or whatever, but you vent on them. You say, man, I just need to call and vent. Don't need a solution. And you're that bullet trap, I call it, for them to call you and vent, right? You share your joys, the simple things that, the wins in life, the little stuff, just talking, right? That's all a friendship with Jesus is. That's all prayer is. And I think we miss it. We try to get too formal with it. But he stands there ready to be your best friend. So if we learn how to talk to him like we would, go to him in prayer and vent about your problems. You know, bring it to him. Talk through it. It helps. That's what he's there for, right? He speaks to us through his word. So it goes back and forth. That brought to mind the story of Joseph Svelkin. Or Slifkin. I'm sorry, I knew I'd mess that up. Y'all don't know the name, but I guarantee you know what I'm going to end it with. It's a beautiful story, tragic story. But he was born in Ireland in the 1800s. Modest family. And as he grew, he went to college and got a little bachelor's degree there in Dublin, Ireland. Well, he fell in love about age 24. A young lady. They were set to be married. And a tragic accident happened on a horse ride. Horse fell in the river and the young lady drowned right ahead of their wedding. It set him back, as it would you or I, a little bit. And he decided he'd just leave Ireland and move to Canada. So he did. Well, he was an educated man, and that was a little rare in that time, so he took up a job making a little income, tutoring and teaching some school there. Wasn't long later, at age 38, he fell in love again. It'd been a while. Fate would have it. Right before their wedding, the young lady fell ill, died of pneumonia, set him back again. But he had a strong faith in Christ. It was told when you saw him, he was a big woodcutter as well, but he wasn't hireable. He wouldn't take pay. He sought out those that were disabled, the widowed, those that couldn't pay, and he'd make sure they had food and provisions and wood to get through those cold Canadian winters. He grew old. He had a few friends. But he came down with a pretty rough sickness. He even wrote a few hymns. This one wasn't included. When he died, he was riddled with fever and had an acquaintance over there watching over him. It went to bed at midnight and thought all was well. Well, his friend got up to check the room to see, make sure he was okay, and he wasn't there. Well, panic happened, and the friend went looking for him. They lived by a little lake, and Joseph had been out of his head with fever, and made his way down to the lake and drowned, disoriented, not knowing where he was. As his friend was going through the journal on his nightstand there, he came across a poem that was meant for his mother, Joseph's mother back in Ireland. It said, "Pray without ceasing," was the name of the poem, and it was just meant for her eyes only. Well, his friend took it, and over time, they wrote a composer to it. Millions have sang it, millions have heard it. What a friend we have in Jesus, right? All our hurts and griefs to bear. What a privilege it is to carry everything to God in prayer. Riddled life of tragedy, but he had a best friend in Jesus. Pretty good story. So that's what we should strive for, is making Jesus our very best friend, right? We learn to talk to him that way instead of talk to him like a rich uncle. Might have a better relationship, I think. Old corn's tasseling up out there, y'all. Won't be long, we'll be shucking. I got a lot of picking to do this weekend. Guess I'll get it done. Still behind on my pools. I just turned to walking again Wednesday, but that's all right. Marigolds, come on up. I don't know if y'all know, of course I forget what I share with subscribers, but little tips I've learned. Didn't get many marigolds in like I wanted to. If y'all are a top fan, you can always try the subscriber feature out for free for 30 days. It's kind of expensive. It's 100 pennies. You got to send in pennies. No. We share a few things along the way, stories behind the scenes, little tips and tricks. But marigolds in a pea patch, one of the biggest problems with peas that we see in this area is aphids. Most of you farmers will know that. Well, the old remedy was good old 7 dust, the potent kind. Y'all don't tell nobody, but I still got some in that shed in there. It's about 50 years old. I don't think you can buy that concentrate anymore. It's just on display because I don't care to use it. But boy, that dust would be all over this field come this time of year, getting rid of them aphids. Well, I tried this the first year in real time. I had read that marigolds attract the ladybugs and the predators of aphids. And if you'll scatter them through your pea field, it'll take care of the problem naturally. And I had the worst aphid problem ever that first year on a little bitty short run up there. So I said, let me try it. So the next year, same spot, I planted peas there, no marigolds. Then I came up here and ran a row, and I put my marigolds in there. Didn't have a problem down here at all. So try it. It's a natural way to do it. I think it works. I don't see an aphid one. The peas come on, and we're eating peas and cornbread for too long. Right? Oh, man. I think sometimes we get caught up in the trinkets of life, the fancy stuff, and we kind of lose sight of what's important. Sometimes when it's put in your face, you realize it, but it's tough to face sometimes. We have to do what we can, I guess, along the way. That old house caught on fire way back in the day, and my mama happened to be in there, maybe with my baby sister for some reason. I don't reckon that she'd be running from room to room, grabbing pots and pans, making sure the car that she'd bought was out of the garage so it didn't catch fire. All the while that baby sleeping in the crib, she's getting pictures and documents and running back and forth out the doors, the house burns, and little girl perishes. I don't think that's how we do it, is it? Yet we run through life chasing trinkets and neglecting the things that are so important, both our family and our soul, until the house burns down and it's too late. Right? Maybe we need to think on that a little bit more and refocus on what we have and celebrate it. I got a little lesson for one of my pool customers today. I had a bunch of lessons today. One of them we ain't going to talk about. That was crazy. I am convinced, all I'm going to say is I'm convinced that extreme wealth, I'm talking about really rich, eats away at man's common sense. I mean, it seemed like not all cases, but I have seen more people with a lot of money. I'm not talking about just rich. I'm talking about really rich. They just ain't got no common sense sometimes. At least I met one today. But anyway, I had to focus on joy. But I had another customer, same neighborhood, good man. He's actually a follower on here. He may recognize what I'm relaying. But he said, now, we was talking about buying things. When you need it, just run down there and get it, whether it be a tractor or tools or whatever. And he's a man of means. He can afford to get what he needs. But he told me, he said, I've changed something here in the last 2 or 3 months. I'm going to try to make do with what I got. Maybe barter with my friends and trade out different services and equipment. He said something as simple as little AirPods that I use. He said I jog with them. I listen to podcasts with them. You know, I mow the yard with them. I really enjoy listening to my music, and I take care of business calls with them. He said, but I broke them the other day, and all I have is this old cheap pair. One of them don't work. They look like big old Bell-tone 1980s hearing aids, so I don't use them. But he said, you know, I've learned to do without them, and I'm okay. He said, I don't reckon I'm going to get me any anytime soon, as much as I relied on those things. I'm learning to do more with less. I'm like, man, he was preaching to the choir, wasn't he? I thought that was good, though. It's nice to have nice things, but I think sometimes we confuse wants and needs, don't we? That's right. Well, Sissy said, I'm tired of walking back and forth. I'm ready to go in the house. We did get the yard mowed today. My buddy come through. We got that pasture to tackle a little hole for now. Y'all, let's go over here to this old well, and we'll prop up and see who's checking in. Hope I still have a couple of folks on here. But just heart is full after the vacation and seeing those grandbabies. It's a whole nother ball game. Here's Jordan's cat sitting on the well. Now, he's not fixed, hence the scars, but he eats well, whether he looks like it or not. You talking to him? I've got to get him fixed because keep him out of them fights. He's not feral. He's a good cat. It's kind of funny though. He'll prowl all night like cats will do. And when Jordan was here, of course, Jordan stayed up later than I did doing different things. And I'd go to bed and we call him Bubba. He wasn't in the house, and I'd wake up and he's in the house. And I'd ask Jordan, I said, man, when did the cat come home? He said, oh, it was about 2 o'clock. I said, you let him in? What happened was, and I've seen it since, he jumps up on Jordan's air conditioner to his room and meows at the window. And then Jordan goes and lets him in. And I'll be honest, it was kind of a sad sight. After Jordan left, of course, he didn't know no better. He's a cat. And so a couple nights later, he come back home, and Jordan was gone. And I heard him hollering. He was on top of that air conditioner, just looked in that window, couldn't find Jordan. He didn't know how he was going to get in. So his pass doesn't come in. He's got to come home during normal hours to get in the house, if that's what we're going to do. If it's 2 o'clock, he ain't getting in, because I don't know it. Oh, let me scroll back up. I may have to put on my spectacles real quick. But he's living his best life anyway, right? That's right. You going to say hi to him? Huh? I think he finally learned how to dodge and weave a little bit. He had a rough time with them big old cats for a while. But I want to get him fixed here pretty quick so he can calm all that roaming down and stay in the house and be more of a cat. Right? Got to have a good old cat on the place, don't you? Let's see, where's this camera? There we go. Tell him, huh? Yeah, you're all right. Okay, let me go back through. Anybody saying it? There's Mr. Daniel Martin. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Let's see who else is on here. Oh, Miss Holly Marie out Georgia way. How are you, ma'am? Good to see you on. Let's see, who else we got on here? Carolyn Chuck Jackson. They are busy. Oh, man. Let's see. That's the only thing about scrolling back. I guess I missed context on what part, but that's all right. Well, got a lot of folks watching, but nobody. I don't usually call folks out unless they comment. So I'm almost down. I think I am. Sorry about these old glasses. There we go. Deb Hood says, hello. Hope you're doing great today. Y'all sound off where you're at so we can see what all parts of the country and world. I know we got some folks in England and Australia. That's always cool to see. There's Miss Debbie. A friend to vent with is great, right? How about if that friend was the creator of the universe? How cool would that be, right? Simple as that. You know, friendship with Jesus does not come and it's not earned by obedience. It's not. That's not how you earn friendship. But it's shown by obedience. That's how it's shown. So you can't earn it. It's already there. He's giving it to you. You just want to show him by being obedient, right? It's still a good life. A pretty good life. Really good life. And the retirement plan is pretty good too, from what I hear. I guess I won't know till it comes. There's Miss Heidi over in North Nacogdoches. Hey, how are you? Hope all is well over there. I know y'all went through a lot of power problems. Let her go. This will always be a problem. I think I missed something somewhere. Maybe I'll get context when I go back and see what. That's what I'm saying. I don't have context on that one. But thank you for the comment. There's Miss Celine agreeing with what we were talking about. I guess I need to start looking at the camera more, don't I? I'm not a very good creator. Oh, well. I got a friend that was a really good creator. In fact, he's my best friend. He made that tree there. Did y'all know that? And it knows how to be a pecan tree. Just saying. So I don't have to create. He did it. Debbie said, I hope the baby goats are doing great. They are. They're still, I've got a hog fence on one side, so the squares are a little bit bigger. And they're still just small enough to get through them. Now, they're staying in the yard. I'm going to have to get some chicken fence on there to keep them from going in and out. But I'm glad they're not big goats. I caught them in the garden when I got home. But they wasn't eating vegetables, thank goodness. They was eating them old weeds. But it won't be long. They'll be big enough to not get through those holes. And the fence will be secure. Tank's still here on the place. I don't know if y'all seen Tank. He's living with the chickens. The reason being, I don't like keeping a dog cooped up. Y'all just don't. But Tank has got a Roman bone as a Pyrenees wheel. And he's got a pretty good spot in here to roam. He takes care of those chickens. So it's either, and at some point, probably another month or so, I may try to let him out and see what happens. But I'm afraid we're going to lose him in that road, y'all. Because originally he was from down the road at a ranch. And he kept getting out. And rescued him here, I don't know, it's been a month or two ago at the gas station. Here we go. He was out in the middle of the loop. So that's just their nature. Let's see. Well, we'll just go in here with him. I'm sorry. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. He's a beautiful dog. But if somebody's got 30, 40 acres away from a road, I'm sure he would. I know he was a rescue dog to begin with, because I talked to the owner, and they had rescued him from a shelter. But just a beautiful temperament, and gets along with the chickens. I'm not trying to give him away, but I would like to see him have a better place. I know the nature of this place, and I'm afraid if I let you out, you're just going to roam and find one of them big old trucks that don't like you very much. And I'd rather see you in here and alive. At least you got something to roam and eat and all of that. But anyway, that's that story. Tank's doing fine. He doesn't like it when those goats get up here. I don't know why. He's not aggressive toward them because I have them in here with him sometimes. But if they come up here, he just loses his mind. Here we go. Watch. Well, don't be mean now. He's just looking at us. Oh, he's just looking at us. I don't know why he does that. But if I put him in here, come on, Tank. Tank, come on. So if I put him in here with him, and I have, to eat that grass now, he don't mind. Don't bother him at all. He just don't want him on his fence. I guess he likes his privacy. Yep, I'm talking about you, buddy. Anyway, but good dog. All the critters are doing fine, y'all. And I'm sure thankful I'm able to get around a little better. I think my main problem is I was wearing them silly flip-flops, and it's easier to work on the pools that way. I switched over to shoes and boots like somebody with some sense in their head. Now I can walk. Here's a baby goat. Well, I don't know about the babies. Where are the babies? Ain't no telling. There's one of them. There's the other two, the bottle babies over there. What are you looking at, huh? Y'all done ate all your pellets, and you're gonna waste all your daylight. Oh, I didn't turn around. Sorry. Waste all your daylight up here when you could be down there eating grass. Ain't that silly? Chickens out here waiting for scraps. I guarantee there ain't no worms in that goat pen. Speaking of worms, we got another batch of Katabi worms coming on, for those that know. Got about 8 trees here. And this will be the second time in as many months that the leaves have come back out and the worms are making their way. So we're going to snatch a bunch of them this round. Usually that first round we don't get them that bad because we don't need them to keep recreating. And that's the best catfish bait you can get. Some people know what I'm talking about. But, we'll get some this round. I think we're going to have fruit for days on anything that has fruit this year with all the rain. Those muscadines are. This is a very beneficial tree here. This old Katabi tree. It's got muscadine vines growing all the way up through it, but it's symbiotic, so it's not choking the tree out. But man, they are loaded with muscadines. I remember a couple of years ago we got about 25, 30 pounds of muscadines off that one vine, and they're loaded again this year. They normally make around, I think it's July 4th. Last time we picked them, it's mid-July. We'll have elderberries to pick and all that during that time. But the tank got me to rambling, or the baby goat comment did. Let's see what I missed, and we'll have to wrap this up. I'm running long tonight. That son and I are racing each other, right? Oh, man. Let's go back a little bit. Y'all pardon the close-up me peering in here. There's my good friend Donna out Huntsville Way, wild man. I hadn't seen that in a while. There's Miss Deborah. How do you do? Boy, I'm getting tongue-tied. What is wrong with me? I told y'all. There's Mr. Phelps. Good evening, sir. Good to see you on. My good friend Carolyn on the south side of Nacogdoches. Saying she got in late. That's all right. Better late than never, they say. Right? Unless they run out of cake before you get there. That's not very good. All right, there we go. I saw Debbie's comment. I think we got everybody. Let me scroll down. That's what I need to. There's Rodney, Cedartown, Georgia. Good evening, sir. Appreciate you sounding off there. And I think it's just about, yep, that's everybody. All right, well, thank y'all for coming along, and hope I spread a little light, faith, and I guess we can work on getting a good best friend relationship with the man that created it all, our Lord and Savior, right? And the main thing I'd like y'all to remember tonight is remember those old Gerber daisies. Sometimes something's just a few inches from release. Maybe a little smile or a kind word in public. Nothing forward, but just somebody to know that you care. That somebody spoke to them and smiled, right? It always makes your day. When I told my sister and I was talking about that. If you're in Walmart and seeing, it's a little easier, I guess, for a lady to do this than a guy. It's just the way the world is. But to see that older widow lady or just older lady shopping by herself, maybe 70s, 80s, and just getting her little bill of groceries. Wouldn't hurt a thing for you to greet her and say hello, and how cute her little outfit was that she picked out. 'Cause, you know, those sometimes those grandmas take a little while to find out what they want to wear, and they're not going to town half tilt, right? They took pride in it. That might start up a little conversation and break her loneliness for the day, right? Don't cost a thing. Just smile. Y'all be the light. Have a good night. Talk to you soon. Bye.